People in the world today are all trying to fit into a certain type so they can be accepted by society. But some people choose to be different. These people are called Sigma men. They are independent, goal-oriented guys who don't care about society's rules or traditional gender roles. They do things their own way. They set their own goals and work quietly to reach them. They don't need to brag or get praise from anyone else. Most people think they are crazy and full of themselves, but they live by their own rules. So without wasting any time, here are 8 rules that Sigma men always break. 1. Fit in or get removed. This rule says that you need to fit in with the social norms and standards of your community if you want to be successful and happy in life. Those who don't follow the rules risk being left out or left behind. It's a belief that tells people to act in certain ways, wear certain clothes, or do certain things in order to get approval and acceptance from their peers. Sigma men often break this rule because they like being themselves and don't want to be like everyone else. They might care more about going after their goals and interests than about fitting in with their friends. They value being real and expressing themselves, which makes them less likely to follow social norms they don't agree with or find unfulfilling. Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, and Henry David Thoreau are all well-known Sigma males who have gone against societal norms. These people were known for having strange ideas and living in ways that didn't fit with what society expected of them. Even though they were different from most of their peers, they were very successful and made important contributions to their areas. 2. If you want to be respected, show off what you have. Many people think that showing off money and things is the only way to get social rank and respect. People who don't have expensive things to show off may be seen as less important and not worth listening to. This is especially true for men who are expected to have an impressive lifestyle in order to be seen as successful and beautiful. It's like a show of control and power. Sigma men, on the other hand, don't agree with this idea of materialism. They don't have to show off how rich they are or what they have to get respect and love. This game is beneath them, and it often makes people act badly. They always choose privacy over showing off their wealth in public because they don't want to attract unwanted notice. Sigma men would rather be measured by what they do and how well they do it than by what they own. They know how valuable they are and don't need to show it with things. This doesn't mean they don't care about money. It just means they see it as a tool to help them reach their goals, not as a way to gain respect or praise from other people. Warren Buffett is a well-known example of someone who lives cheaply despite being very rich. This shows that you can be successful without flaunting your money or things. 3. Always adhere to the social hierarchy. If you ask an alpha man, he will say that following the social hierarchy is important for getting ahead and being respected. The idea is that people with better status are more respected and have more power than people with lower status. So if people want to be seen as great by their peers, they should always try to get to the top of the pyramid. People who don't follow these rules might be thought of as rebellious, disrespectful, or not aware of their place in society. But Sigma men never follow this rule. They don't want to follow the strict rules of a structured society. Instead, they want to make their own way. They care more about what makes them happy than what other people think, so they may sometimes ignore or even question the social hierarchy. They often have their own ideas and ways of doing things, which may be at odds with what others tell them to do or how they tell them to do it. Sigma men care more about achievement and merit than about their social situation. This makes it hard for them to accept the idea of a social or work hierarchy. Even well-known Sigma men like Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, and Friedrich Nietzsche are like this. These people were successful in their fields because they challenged the status quo and made something new instead of depending on systems or hierarchies that were already in place. Their stories show that you don't have to follow the social order to be successful and reach your goals. They have done well not because they are in high places, but because they have worked hard and come up with new ideas. 4. If you want to be successful, you have to try to make everyone happy. The idea behind the social butterfly stereotype is that the more friendly and open you are, the more likely you are to be successful in life. This rule says that being a people person is important for success, and people who aren't social may find it hard to reach their goals. This is not always true, as shown by Sigma men. Even if they choose to be more independent and have fewer close friends, they can still do well in their chosen fields. They always break this rule to show that you don't have to be a people pleaser to be successful. People often think that Sigma men are cold or unfriendly because they like to be on their own. They might like being alone more than being around other people. They don't care as much about relationships as other personality types do, and may not think being social is important for success. Even though they don't put much value on social interaction, Sigma males have done well in their jobs, personal lives, and other areas. Elon Musk, Howard Hughes, and Bill Gates are all well-known Sigma men who have broken the social rule. People know these people for their independent thought, out-of-the-box ideas, and unique points of view, all of which seem to have come from the fact that they are shy. 5. To be happy, you need to have a lot of friends. People often say that having a lot of friends is important for a full and happy life. It's a cultural belief that social connections and mental support from others are very important. People who don't have many friends may be thought of as social outsiders who are missing something important to their health. Even though having close ties with people can improve our lives, that doesn't mean that having many friends is the only way to be happy. Sigma men show this by breaking this rule and showing that you don't need a lot of friends to be happy. They like being independent and having their own space, and sometimes they would rather be alone to recharge than with other people. When it comes to friendships, they often put quality over number, and they may be happy with just a few close friends instead of a large group of acquaintances. Sigma men don't always think having many friends is important to their happiness. They may find happiness in other ways. Famous Sigma men like Nikola Tesla, Stanley Kubrick, and J.D. Salinger have broken this rule, which proves this point. These people were successful because they kept their social circles small and put their own goals ahead of social obligations. They weren't happy because other people liked them, but because they liked themselves. This shows that having a lot of friends isn't always the only way to be happy. 6. Approval is more important than being unique. Most beta males care a lot about fitting in and having a group mindset, but Sigma males don't. They might look at a problem or situation from a way that no one else in the group has thought of. They might put honesty ahead of group agreement because they think they have to say what they think is right, even if it goes against what the group thinks. They don't just want to go along with what everyone else is doing. They'd rather think for themselves, question what everyone else says, and make their own choices. They are less interested in doing what everyone else does and more interested in finding what works best for them. Sigma males also tend to think that consensus kills innovation, so they like to stand up for what they believe in, even if it means going against what most people think. Famous Sigmas like Elon Musk and Neil Armstrong, for example, have been known to question the status quo and push for new ideas or solutions, even when others don't agree. These cases show that Sigma men don't always follow the group mentality and that going against the grain can lead to success. They can reach their goals and make a change in the world if they listen to their own ideas when making decisions. 7. Comparing yourself to other people. People often make the mistake of judging themselves by how their friends and coworkers act. This often makes you feel insecure and envious, which can hurt your sense of self-worth and happiness. Sigma men don't do this kind of comparison. Everyone's path to success is different, so it's pointless to compare yourself to others. They pay attention to their own growth and don't compare it to that of others. Success isn't a race, it's about setting and reaching your goals. Comparing yourself to others will only make you feel bad about yourself and make you feel bad about yourself. Instead, you should focus on your own progress and not worry about what other people are doing. Competition can be good in some situations, but it often leads to bad comparisons and feelings of not being good enough. This way of thinking goes against the Sigma theory. They know success is a personal journey, so they don't worry about what everyone else is doing or getting. Instead, they focus on their own progress. 8. Showing regret for who you are. People often say they're sorry for what they thought, said, or done. This happens a lot with guys who apologize or act weak in order to be liked by others. Even though being kind and respectful to others is important, Sigma men don't apologize for being who they are. Even if other people don't agree with them, they stick to what they believe and are sure of their choices. This can be hard in a world where everyone wants to be the same, but they must keep their freedom and sense of self-worth. Even if someone doesn't like them, it's okay because there are plenty of people who will love them just the way they are. They try to accept other people's ideas, but they don't feel like they have to change their own to make everyone happy. This is important if they want to stay independent and in charge of their own lives. They know how valuable they are and don't feel bad about who they are or what they think or do.